I saw myself walk into the room 24 hours before I did. That is the part no one believes. My name is Daniel Mercer. In 1998, I was a systems technician assigned to Site 12, a facility buried under desert rock. My job was simple: maintain the cameras, recorders, and timing systems for Project Glasshouse. Glasshouse was a sealed observation room. White walls. One metal table. One chair. No windows. No vents. Every inch watched by cameras. Every sound caught by microphones. The door opened only from the outside. The room was not built to hold prisoners. It was built to watch tomorrow. Every night at 3:17 a.m., the monitors showed exactly what the room would look and sound like 24 hours later. 1 hour of future footage. Clean audio. At first, it felt like a miracle. If tomorrow showed a power fault, we repaired it today. If tomorrow showed an injury, we changed the schedule. For 2 months, Glasshouse prevented accidents and made command believe they had touched God. Then the room started showing people who were not there. The first was a woman in a gray coat, standing in the corner with her back to the camera. We checked the next day's access logs. No woman was scheduled. No woman entered. At 3:17 the next morning, the room was empty. But the recording had never been wrong before. Dr. Harlan called it signal bleed, a timing artifact. The next night, the woman appeared again. This time, she was closer to the table. The night after that, she was sitting in the chair. She never moved. She only waited. Then the audio changed. At first it was static. Then tapping. 3 taps. Pause. 3 taps. Pause. Like knuckles inside a wall. At 3:12 a.m. the next night, I was escorted into Glasshouse. The room smelled like dust and cold metal. I sat exactly where I had seen myself sit. 3:17 came. The chair across from me was empty. For 1 minute, nothing happened. Then the speakers clicked on. My own voice came through. Not from the room. From the future feed in control. I heard myself whisper, "Do not answer." The intercom crackled. Command ordered me to ask the first question. I did not. The empty chair scraped backward. I looked at the camera dome and understood the worst part. The woman had never needed to enter the room. She only needed us to believe there was someone to talk to. The table microphone lit red. A voice came from nowhere, soft and close. "Daniel," it said. "You can hear me now." I ran for the door, but it did not open. Behind me, the lights flickered. Outside, men screamed to cut the power. The monitors and controls showed tomorrow's footage. In that footage, the room was full. Dozens of figures stood shoulder to shoulder, all facing the camera. All waiting. The project was shut down too late. They poured concrete into the access hall. They cut the cables. They buried the control room and called it a structural collapse. But 3 days after I was transferred, I found a monitor in my new office already turned on. It showed the empty room. The time code read tomorrow's date. The table microphone was glowing red. And my own voice whispered from the speaker, "Daniel, this time answer. If you ever see tomorrow before it happens, do not ask what it means. Do not knock. Do not speak. Do not answer. Because the future is not empty. It is listening back." One analyst joked that the future wanted our attention. Nobody laughed the next night. Because the woman spoke. She said, "Daniel." My name. I had never entered Glasshouse. Technicians were not allowed inside. I had never spoken in that room or touched the table. But on the monitor, the woman lifted her head and said my name again. "Daniel, do not open the door tomorrow." Command locked the facility down. They questioned me for 9 hours. They searched my quarters and files. I had no connection to the woman. No record of her existed. The next day, the door opened by itself. Not all the way. Just 3 inches. Enough for the microphone to hear breathing from the other side. There was no one in the hall. That was when I stopped believing we were seeing the future. The room was not predicting events. It was making invitations. Something on the other side of tomorrow had learned we were watching. Every recording was it pushing deeper into our time. Dr. Harlan wanted to shut the project down. Command refused. They ordered one final test. Someone had to enter during the predicted hour and ask what she wanted. They chose me. That night, the future feed showed me sitting at the table, pale and shaking. Across from me sat the woman in the gray coat. Her face was blurred, not by the camera, but by something wrong with the air around her. Future me asked, "Who are you?" She answered, "The first one you let through." I asked, "Through where?" She smiled. Then she looked past future me and stared into the camera. "Tomorrow is crowded," she said. "But your room has a door."